Good morning. It's July 20th. It's my birthday. There's also a very gray and gloomy day. I'll try not to take that as some sort of editorial comment from on high. So my plan today is stick fairly close to home because it might start snowing again. Snowing. Raining. Sorry, I was watching a vehicle and changed seasons in my head. Might start raining. Well, I'm walking, so I'm not going to walk too far. I'm going to stick to the Crescents area and just do a nice thorough walk around the neighbourhood. So I think what we'll do is do the Crescents one after the other, and then do a street by street until I fill up my time or it starts raining, one or the other. Didn't rain very much. It's a little damp. And as usual, it looks a little gloomier to my eye than it does to the phone, which does compensate for low light conditions very well. So we'll start up Connaught Crescent here, which is really a half crescent. It ends where the schoolyard is, Javin School. And even though it's my birthday, I'll be doing, editing and writing. Editing and revision, really, today. And tonight we're going over to my niece's house, meet their baby, which we haven't really met yet. Who, not which. Looking forward to that. Well, that's a big little library, much bigger than most of them. Very modern house here. The ones on that side sit at an angle, which is interesting. They don't sit facing directly onto the crescent quite. And there's a little tiny house next to the big one. So real contrast along there in house styles. So each crescent starts and ends at, the full crescent, one end of it anyway, in the case of Connaught Crescent, is at College Avenue up here, where we're headed. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook live, this is a good day to say hello because it's so dim I can really see the screen well. A modern house on this corner. I've always wondered what it looks like inside. I just like the looks of that one. So here's College Avenue. We'll go around the corner and then go down Angus Crescent for our next trick, my next trick. Just a hint of dampness in the air, but it's not up, hasn't raised to the level of sprinkling again yet. So this house goes on along here. It's quite long. Okay, so now we'll go down Angus Crescent. But which side? I normally walk on this side because this is the side our house is on. But I'll walk on the other side this time. So of course each crescent is also longer than the previous one because they're nestled inside each other. So when we get to Leopold Crescent, it's the longest. The first time I came into this neighborhood and saw the arching trees and thought, wow, it'd be a great place to live. And at the time I was just looking at a possible rental house, which I ended up taking over on Garnet Street, not quite in here. Had no idea I would actually end up living on one of these crescents. These are all elms. And occasionally one of them gets taken down, but they've hung in pretty well. They'd all be over, must be 100 years old at least. They get trimmed every once in a while. Branches come off occasionally. Dutch elm disease is around and does take a tree or two, it seems like, every year, but not in the Crescents necessarily. There's elms all over the city. There's always these nice alleys too, which I've walked through a couple of times. There's one for sale. There's some magazine in the U.S. that named this whole area one of their best old house neighborhoods. I don't know if it was Better Homes and Gardens or something like that for North America. So what I like is that the houses weren't all built by the same developer to the same style. So they're all unique, individual. That's the Tommy Douglas house I pointed out before. Premier Tommy Douglas lived many years ago, although at about the same time my grandparents-in-law lived on the Crescent. They would have been neighbors. Another alley. I've mentioned this house several times. We got to tour it during the Davin homeschool, and it's quite interesting inside. It doesn't look that big in the front, but it goes back a long way and it goes down and has a big open, like 3-story space inside it. Very cool. It's about 18 degrees this morning, so that's nice. A second cool morning. Yesterday was pretty cool too when I walked out to the university. Short alley. And that's quite a spectacular corner lot there. My landscaping they keep up really well. Has that gazebo out front. And the little picket fence, which is cool. That's a particularly big elm, big trunk on that one. Need to look at the houses on this side because there's no cars in front of them. This is a brand new one, which very much fits the older style houses, although bigger than most of them. That house was used to be the architect Francis Portnell's house, same architect that designed our house and also Davin School, and many other things in the city. He was one of the main architects in Regina for a long time. Pretty green one. Most of the traffic seems to be contractors going here and there that I've seen this morning. Oh, here's another one for sale, if you're looking. I just felt a drop of rain. Try not to take it seriously. I like that one. I like that sort of half-timbered look. Dogs. A dog, I should say. No, actually 2 dogs. 3 dogs. 4 dogs. Dogs everywhere. This is the alley I take when I'm going to the lake, but not taking it today. I remember when this one was renovated and they added that turret. It wasn't original. It has an interesting decorative style. Unitarian church over there. Used to be a Church of Christ Scientist. Oh, thanks, Gareth. Gareth says happy birthday. This was a SaskTel office building at one time and is now other things. The architect was not happy when they put this silver base on it, which doesn't really match the rest of the building. He was still alive then. He didn't care for that. So this brings us up to Albert Street. So we'll go around the corner on Albert and then down Leopold. Alberton College. Over on the other corner over here is the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. That way it goes downtown. We had a good friend that used to live on this corner, but not in this house. Her house was torn down to build this, which did not make us very happy, really, but at least my wife especially, because the old house was on my historic walks of Regina and Moose Jaw. It's one of the rare brick houses. It's in my book. I didn't finish that sentence. And was quite unusual. No, actually, I never saw that museum. In that building. Nope, never knew about that. Maybe it's before my time. I'm young, you know. Or it's before when I moved to Regina. There's the grasshopper. Oh, I've never walked by that, really. Let's go over there. This sculpture was built by Wilf Perot, one of our noted local artists. And as you can see, it's a grasshopper. It'll probably be my thumbnail, actually. Once the hedge grew up inside it, then it makes a big green grasshopper. Another angle. I think in all my walks, that's the first time I've walked by the grasshopper, because I don't remember ever showing it off before. Morning. These houses too sit at a slight angle to the crescent on this side, which is interesting. Another little free library, which matches the house behind it. This one on the angle, so you have interesting yards along here because of the angle. And they somehow seem a little more private just because they're angled away from the street. Oh, got all sorts of people suddenly saying happy birthday. Well, thank you. Yeah, life-size grasshopper. That's right, Gareth. Thanks, Sandy and Lorraine. So I often walk down that way to get to the bridge. Not today. Been in this house on a home tour as well. Another house with a gazebo. You have to have a big yard to have a gazebo. Ours wouldn't accommodate it. We are going to build a deck, though, a new deck. Hope to do it this year, but now it looks like it'll be next spring. And a small extension. Give ourselves a downstairs half bath. Kind of like that house too. I like a lot of the houses along here. I remember taking a picture of this one for my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw, and the owner came out and asked what I was doing. So I had to explain. Because I did all the more modern one tucked away in here. I did all of the walks myself and took a picture of every single building on the walks for that book. And mostly it was in the winter, which is, you know, not so pleasant from temperature-wise, but was very interesting windows on this one. But was very good from a point of view of not having tree leaves blocking the view. I mentioned that house where they shot a movie starring Linda Carter back in the 90s. There's a brick one over there. So this is Retallick. Normally if I was going to the dike, I'd go down there and climb up the steps at the end of that street. Today I'm staying on Leopold, but I need to change sides because it peters out here and turns into another street at this intersection. Smaller houses on this side along here. I've been in that one, know the people that live there. It's very nice. Been in that one too. Or was it that one? I guess it was that one. Our dog, or same dog actually, that I saw earlier. Then there's this older one, and then right next to it, this huge one somebody built. Generally in the same style, but built up so they have underground kind of parking. That That one's been painted since I did my book. Looks nice, nicer than I remembered. More little free libraries. So as you can see, this is a much longer crescent because of the way it encases the other two. And over there's Garnet Street, which if I went down would take me by the house I used to live in, but would also run out of road to do what I intend to do next. So I'll stay on Garnet right to the, or on Leopold right to the end. So you get this kind of little cross street. And there's some newer ones mixed in with the older ones along here. Over time, the old ones go down and new ones come up. The house next to us has been bought, but we hope it doesn't get torn down. Bold color choice. Two new ones next to each other. These ones I don't care for. They're a bit cookie cutter. Purely both built by the same developer. I don't really care for that look. Not that anybody asked me, but I'll tell you anyway. It's also an uphill climb here slightly, moving up from the creek. Some prairie lilies there, provincial flower. And here we are back at College Avenue. And how long have we been going? So got some time to kill here. So I will keep going in this direction. Been in that house many times, know who lives there. Keep the faith. Writer fan for one thing. That would be the Saskatchewan Rough Riders for those who may not be from around here, of the Canadian Football League. Tempted to go down that alley, but that's not the plan I had in my head, so I won't. So far, hasn't rained on me. According to the hourly forecast on the Weather Channel, Weather Network, it should have started raining 5 minutes ago, so clearly they're off a little bit. There's a new one going up over here. Not much to see yet, but it's going to be one of those square ones, boxy ones. Hello. We're going to go this way and go up the alley for the next leg. That was a dog that was not on a leash that wanted to have words with me. Unfortunately, a friendly one. We'll walk back up the alley to college. See the back side of the house they're building. Oh, I don't even know how they got that truck in there. And we'll go around the corner again and go down Montague. You can stretch out a walk a long way without going very far from home. If you do it block by block, it adds up quickly. Down Montague to the park. Older houses along here too, with the occasional newer one thrown in. Oh, there's a brand new one, with older ones on either side. Oh, hi Dan, just now saw yours. Thank you for that. Yes, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday dear Edward, happy birthday to me. Okay, well I don't have much choice here but to go up towards the dike, because there's really no other options without just turning around and walking up to college again, because there's no path over here. And a recently downed tree. Otherwise I could walk down through there. Well, I guess I still could. But I'll go up here and then go down. But there isn't a lot of tree branches in my way. So here's the Elphinstone Bridge. Oh, there's pelicans over there on the creek. Oh, and one standing right under the bridge there too, on the weir. All right. Go down here, get on the last alley, go back up to college, and then come down Elphinstone, and then we'll take the path home, I think. Normally I would have walked through there, but it seems a bit fraught. And it's uphill again, so I get extra exercise. The overall walk will probably be a bit shorter than usual, but I keep expecting it to start raining, so that was kind of the idea. Stretch it out as much as I could, but little garden back here. And then over to Elphinstone and down over the bridge, back onto the footpath. It may be cool, but it's also very humid. I'm feeling quite warm and a little damp. Okay, back along Elphinstone. 2 days ago on my walk, I surprised cops with a radar gun in the bushes. And I said to one of them, I think people think I'm, probably at least some people, when they see me, think I'm a cop with a radar gun. So maybe I'm doing my bit to slow down traffic by walking around with this thing, who knows. So the Neil Balkwell Center is over there, which has the art gallery of Regina in it, and a lot of other rooms for the teaching and making of art. Used to have a dark room. I wonder if they still do, because, you know, that's pretty much a skill a very vanishing skill, I would think. Something you would learn specifically if you wanted to create art using actual film photography, which I'm sure there are many who do. It's not like film has gone away, but I doubt you learn it in junior high like I did. We had a dark room at the Waverly Junior High, and we learned how to develop film and print. There you can see the pelicans again. We'll get a good look at this one as we go over the bridge. And you see him down there. Waiting for fish to come by, I guess. And a couple more then up the creek there, swimming around. Over here's the wild horseshoe yard where wild horseshoes congregate. Very rare to see a horseshoe in its natural habitat. I've only ever seen anybody playing horseshoes there once in all these walks. But it is used. There's probably even a horseshoe club of some sort. Of course, along here are baseball fields. I think the last time I walked along here was in the dark, actually. A few walks ago, when I decided to take a walk at twilight. And so far my microphone is maintaining its charge, which is good. Quite a nice baseball field or two along here. Ted, first time I've actually noticed the name. Ted Watt Field. I don't know who Ted Watt was, but who Ted Watt was. But that's his field. There's a path down through there, but I am not going anywhere near to it when it's both damp and likely swarming with mosquitoes. I took it earlier in the year. Actually, since I'm stretching things out, maybe I'll go down to the field, which I've never done before. There's the dugout. Oh, see, I got wildlife coming this way. Jackrabbit, or sorry, snowshoe hare. Oh, he got through the fence. There's an opening. Oh, there is a big opening there that he clearly knew about because he went straight for it. This is Ken McLeod Field over here. That's Elphinstone ahead of us with the cars. So now we're in the outfield, or just over the home run fence, I guess. This would be used for slow pitch, not probably not hardball. The rabbit's now out there halfway between the pitcher's mound and third plate. Oh, he's making a run for third. I think he was safe, but he kept going. He's going in the wrong direction, so no points for him. Dressing rooms, concession stands, kind of thing. Just because I came this way, I'll go this way. We'll find our way over to the waterfall park over there, but we'll come into it from a different direction than usual. Do I want to go through the trees? I do not. So we'll walk up to Elphinstone. Although I might cut a bit off here, go by the sign. I think the grass is so wet I'll get my feet too wet doing this for a short walk. Aquinas remembers serving the children of the world. This is Aquinas Park. Ugh. More of a puddle there than I expected. That's a condo building across the street there. So there's the playground. I used to be very aware where all playgrounds were because of my daughter, but now we get to drive by them without giving them a second glance. She always wanted to stop. We were in the car and we saw a playground. Now that she's 20 and going into her third year of university, University of Toronto, not so much. I'll strip mall over there. Then the waterfall park is over here. So we'll go through it to get back to the footpath. We'll go this way so we can cross over the footbridge. There's the whole park. I'm often too close to really get a sense for the whole sort of grassy bowl here. Of course, it's not a real waterfall, it's a fountain. And my assumption is the water comes straight from the creek. Because there's a sign that says it's not undrinkable water and to stay out of it, even though people seem to ignore that. Flowers have come a long way since I first came along and saw that they'd been planted. These little flower beds are looking nice. Over here. Over the footbridge, there's very rarely any water in this little creek. There's a little, but it doesn't exactly flow. very fast. And there's the waterfall. And I think because they're not just the spruce that we normally people have around here, they look like lodgepole pines or something similar. This always feels a little mountainy to me. I mean, okay, it's not much of a slope, but it has rocks and trees and water. Just like the Arrogant Worms song says, we have rocks and trees and trees and rocks. And rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and water in Canada, 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 Canada. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Well, for this being the time when it's supposed to rain, that seems like a very non-raining sky up there. So clearly I could have gone further afield had I wanted without any risk, but that's okay. I'm filling out my time and that's all that matters. And of course, there's the creek. And the footbridge through the trees there, where we are headed. And there's the pelicans down there. I don't know if you can see them. They're pretty small on the screen with those 3 white dots. Pelicans cruising upstream against the raging current. Whitewater rafting is not a thing on the Wascana. I did that once in Montana. It was very cool. Me and my daughter. My wife was at an engineering conference at Whitefish. Well, Pinmore actually, Pacific Northwest Economic Region. But APEGS always goes to Pinmore meetings, Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan, of which she was president at the time. It's a lot of words just to say that she was at something and we were at something. We were taking part in the spousal and family activities. Did I say Whitefish? Not Whitefish, Big Sky. And yeah, so we went whitewater rafting. And it was very cool. None of us drowned. Got some cool photos. Wore a wetsuit, so we didn't freeze to death. And as much as I enjoy any of those sorts of things, I enjoyed that. There are pictures of me when I'm concentrating. I get a very severe look on my face. Oh, look. 3 pelicans down at the end there, too. If I can zoom in. I guess not. But you can probably see them, the little white dots down there where the river bends. And then they're over on this side, too, although one of them seems to be fishing. They're not together anymore. I should be able to zoom in. I've done it before. Oh, there we go. That seems to be as far as it'll go, though. Now, there we go, back to where it was. Or I even gone more wide angle than usual. That's the only reason, one reason I don't like to play with it is because you can end up even more wide angle than I usually aim for, but I think that's where it normally is. I'll stay off the dike because I usually lose the signal along there. The new house here is coming along. I think all the work's happening on the inside now. It's not changing much on the outside at the moment. Just a couple more blocks and I will be home. In a reasonable approximation of my usual time. Perhaps a little shorter than sometimes, but that's okay. I'll go up this. I've walked up this alley before, but it's kind of nice because it has the row houses at the end. And we'll see how they're doing on replacing one of the porticos there. It's a very unusual house, as I mentioned before. I'd love to know what it looks like inside. They certainly have a big garden. I think it's a double lot and a long, narrow house, so they have a lot of space for that garden there. So these row houses up here, they were replacing a porch on one of the entrances, or two of the entrances. I haven't been by for a while, so we'll see how that's going. This is also where I found they must be doing something on the roof, because there's something weird on the roof. Maybe that's always been there. I just never noticed, but I don't think so. Anyway, this is also where I walked by and saw a tree down. You can see there the broken limbs of that tree. The whole thing's probably going to have to come down. It keeps pushing up into the power line there. Maybe they're working on it now, because there was more to it before it collapsed. Oh yeah, there's the new porch, still under construction. And now we're back to the end of Leopold Crescent, almost. A somewhat odd intersection. I'm not entirely sure what rules apply if you come here at the same time as the car is coming from to my left. Who yields? Nobody has a yield sign. I guess right-of-way would belong to the person on the right, which would be coming from behind me. So I guess that's the way it's supposed to work out. I'm not sure everybody who drives along there has the same idea, though. You can see we're back among houses I've already walked by. And here's Vitalik up ahead. One block up to the traditional stop sign. And we will be done. Nobody ever said hi on YouTube today, so I don't know if anybody's watching on YouTube. It's too bad, because I can see the screen so clearly. But I had lots of folks on Facebook, probably because I said it was my birthday in the title. I spent about 10 minutes or 15 minutes already this morning thanking people for saying happy birthday on Facebook. And I'm sure you've got a lot more to do once I get back in here. So this one was a little shorter. Where are we at? Just over 50 minutes. But I got it in without getting rained on, and the forecast still says there's rain coming. showers, scattered showers, of course, which could mean that they get scattered somewhere other than here. We need a good general rain, like an all-day soaker. But that's certainly not in the forecast. Okay, here's the stop sign, and here I shall stop. So thanks for walking with me. If you watched live or if you're watching the recording, thanks for that, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.